Hi there, this is LuckGod. I've got another product review for you today. This is some terrain, 3D printed terrain from a company called Irongate Scenery. I've never got 3D printed terrain before, so I was a little curious to see what it would be like, what the quality would be like, and I figured a few other people might be as well. So I thought I'd give it a quick review and let you know what I think of it. So I ordered a cauldron and a terrain piece called Forge and Accessories. So this just here is the cauldron. So I'll go over that first because it's fairly simple. So the cauldron itself has got some kind of bubbly details inside. There you go. And the edges, you can very much see the kind of lines across the model as it was made, as it was printed, if you know what I mean. You can very much see, I want to say, the striations of it, and like it was laid down like sedimentary. And some of that, unfortunately, does translate across into the little handles. So, yeah, that's a little bit disappointing. I bought this for the cauldron for a conversion that I'm planning on doing. So when I actually get around to doing that, I will post more. But yeah, and the fire that it comes on, it's fairly rough looking in my opinion. Um, you can really see the lines in the rocks. But seeing as it's supposed to be underneath the cauldron, a lot of that will be obscured. I'm probably not going to use the firebase. I have other plans for that. So yeah, this one costs £3. I think for what it is, it's slightly overpriced. Um, I was expecting it to be a little bit more detailed because some of the striations around the edge really do make it look a bit cheaper. Um, Possibly might be able to fill that with some green stuff, just smooth it over with a sculpting tool, but it's extra work that I didn't really want. So this other piece is the forge and the accessories. So I'll quickly go over the little bits that they give you first. So this is a wooden barrel with water. So I actually think this is an example of the method of printing done right. The way the 3D printing nozzle must have moved around and has deliberately created the pattern of the water. I actually think that's really nice. Sorry, I'll try and get it to focus for you. There we go. So I actually think that one is a little bit better than the cauldron's water effect. I even managed to get rivets on the iron banding that goes around. There we are. So yeah, that's that one. And there's the tiny little shield. And again, they've used the way it prints to go up and down to create a kind of like fake wood effect. That's actually quite good. The back doesn't look quite as good. It looks a bit more like a circuit board, if you ask me. But I think that's intended to be the non-display side, so yeah, it's fine. And this is another some sort of shield. So from this side again, it looks reasonably good. The method of the printing has kind of led to the wood grain effect, and on the back again, it's just kind of like an up and down pattern that doesn't look very realistic for wood, but I think it's again intended to be the non-display side. So this is anvil on a log. Now I do find the way that the log is made quite impressive. So again, you've got you can visibly see lines nearly, but I think this one will be nowhere near as bad on the log part. At the top of the log, the 3D printing lines actually look like growth rings, so that's quite nice. But unfortunately, the anvil itself has really suffered from this printing process. Yeah, as you can see there, it's really lined and missing that smooth finish of a iron anvil. So I might have to use some green stuff to smooth that out. And then there's a wagon wheel. So this looks fairly good. Quite like this. On this side, it's again kind of like the non-display side, I believe, because it looks a bit liney. But otherwise, yeah, nice little extra accessory. Now we come onto the forge itself. The roof is quite interesting. The method used to make it out of the 3D printing method has left the tiles looking quite nicely textured. The one thing that I'm really not impressed with are these holes. The display one on the website that's already painted up, it didn't have any indication that it would need these holes for these upright support beams to go through. It didn't really have any visual indication at all. I'll include a picture from their website, but I couldn't see anywhere on their picture similar things like that pin. Some of the pins are not actually attached, and nearly all of them are kind of bent. So it's going to take a bit of finagling to get this to go together. These are fairly good. One side is obviously more detailed than the other. That one actually looks like wood grain. This one just looks like up and down, repetitive, very fine printing lines. So that's clearly meant to be the display side. Set of bellows. Now again, this is another one where I think the lines of the 3D printing really aid it. Like the cloth, the canvas section that would be in there, striations really just look like folded material. And on the top, it's got that cross hatching there. That kind of makes it look like it's, I don't know, made out of some, maybe like a woven wicker kind of material. So that looks quite nice, and the rivet detail is pretty good on it as well. This piece is a little bit odd. This is meant to be the coals that go inside the furnace here. And the idea is they give you instructions both on the website, and they print you out a set, which was quite nice. This is in case you want to light up the forge using a LED. So basically what you can do is paint all these rocks black for coal, and then leave various bits clear so some of the light will come through from the LED and it'll give a nice glow effect. They did show a picture and it looks quite good. I'm not sure if I'm going to. Time will tell. I have bought a couple of LED candles just in case, but we'll see. And this is not meant to look good. It's just very much a lined box, really. And this is for you to put the battery in to go underneath, so the battery for the LED can be stored inside it. So that's actually quite a nice little addition that they didn't have to do. This is the chimney piece. Somebody's drawn on it with biro, indicating which which angle goes to the front of the forge, because otherwise you visibly probably wouldn't be able to see. None of this detail-wise matters because it's all going to be underneath there. So the only bit really that matters is the chimney, and I think it looks quite nice. There we go. So for 3D printed stonework, it's not half bad really. And then the main forge itself comes in one big piece. So what we've got is a bench over to the side with a few added details. So a set of tongs, a couple of hammers, and some horseshoes. These hammers are really a bit rough looking. There's like little gaps. You've got to remember though, this is very, very small. I will probably just put some green stuff on and then scrape it off and fill in those gaps that way. This top has a kind of nice cross-hatching surface, so you could, I think it would look good like a sheet of metal. So the forge itself, and we've got some rough detail on these bottom of these rocks that I'll need to clean up. It's a bit uneven, and you can really see the lines and striations of how it was printed. Hopefully that won't show up too much in painting. Again, I will paint up this and do a follow-up at some point. This surface just here is where the bellows go. And glue on there. And then just the reverse. I do like the nice variety of the shapes of all the different rocks that make up this forge. It's pretty good. So the forge set cost £12, and I think depending on how it paints up will really depend on whether I think this is good value or not. At the moment I'm erring on it being good value, but one of the things that upsets me is the holes and the pins that come from these uprights. So I'm going to have to glue it all in, chop them off, and then green stuff to make it not look as visibly obvious. It's a little bit disappointing. I would have been happier with no pins at all and just having to glue flat onto flat. That would have been fine for me. Obviously they've attempted to try and make it as easy to assemble as possible, and in that they have made it slightly less appealing to me, personally. It's just my opinion. Yeah, so I will get this one painted up as well, and try and do a follow-up on that one as well. Here's a mini for scale. This is a 28mm mini, so it's pretty good scale. All the tools are a decent size for a 28mm mini. The forge, the anvil, they're all like roughly what you'd expect. I mean, if you put that on his base size, it comes up to his waist, so that's fairly good height for an anvil. Same with the barrel. It's a pretty decent size. So overall, I think it was well worth giving these a try. I will, like I say, paint them up and do a follow-up. But in general, I think that they're worth a go if you're on the lookout for a cheaper end alternative for your terrain.
So here's a quick look at the painted version that they have on their website, and as you can see, it's got some smoke coming out of the chimney, and they've got the LED light below, which I'm thinking more and more that I probably will go for. I just wanted to show this just to show that the roofing tiles don't have the holes in for the upright beams, just for a little comparison, so you could get an idea of what I was talking about. So I've put a link to their website in the description down below, so if you like what you see, consider checking out their website and seeing what else they do. So I'm going to try and make this into a Gobber's Forge for my War Machine terrain and Iron Kingdoms as well as Company of Iron too. I'll try and get it painted up as soon as I can, and I'll do a follow-up talking about how it took to paint and overall impressions after painting it at some point soon. Okay, thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you later, guys.